The finding to Freddy's attraction at Halloween Horror Nights may have secretly revealed the darkest part of FNaF's story, how the missing children incident really happened. Most people just see a haunted house, but if you look closer, the rooms actually tell the story of how William Afton killed each victim. In case you're not familiar with the game or its lore, here's a little backstory. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was never just an innocent family restaurant. Behind the flashing lights, the smiling animatronics, and the smell of cheap pizza, there was something darker, something sinister, something that turned a place of joy into a crime scene. In 1985, 5 children disappeared during one of the many birthday parties at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, an event that changed the entire course of the FNaF universe and causing the first of many locations to shut down. Their disappearances became known as the Missing Children Incident. Police searched the pizzeria for months, trying to find clues, looking at every detail to try and find the kids or whatever was left of them. What parents never knew was that their bodies were hidden inside the very animatronics meant to entertain them. After weeks, the restaurant began to reek of death as the bodies slowly decomposed inside the animatronics, and as more time went by, the animatronics began to deteriorate and moisture can be seen seeping out of their sockets. After it was discovered that the bodies were hidden inside the animatronics, the place quickly shut down, becoming an empty shell of its former self. At Halloween Horror Nights, Universal turned this disturbing part of the FNaF franchise into a horror attraction. Most would think it's just a movie adaptation, but it wasn't. If you paid close attention, the house itself told the story of how and where those children were killed and where their spirits still haunt. Now it's time to retrace the footsteps of Afton victims and find out what truly happened in the night of 1985. As we enter the pizzeria, we are greeted with the show stage of the attraction, which houses Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica on stage. But just a few moments later, the first spirit jumps out and is where we meet Foxy's kid for the first time, lunging out from Pirate's Cove with a hook in his hand, the item that the yellow rabbit used to kill him. This room is carefully designed and thought out. In the FNaF movie, we see this exact scenario play out, with Foxy's spirit watching Freddy and the gang on stage, shortly after getting pulled away by the yellow rabbit to his demise. Pirate's Cove has always been Fox's domain, a secluded corner of the pizzeria hidden by red curtains. Imagine Afton slowly walking a child towards those curtains. He tells them Foxy has a secret show, one only special guests can see. The child follows, stepping into the darkness. Inside, away from witnesses, Afton attacks, using the hook-like prop from the costume, which is why Foxy's ghost attacks with one today. The cove's curtains muffled the screams, letting him kill without anyone outside hearing a thing. Before we continue the video, if you're trying to get through Halloween Horror Nights like a champ and not get scared, then what better way to do so than with Raycon Everyday Earbuds with its active noise cancellation. This message is sponsored by Raycon. Raycon's Everyday Earbuds Classics are my go-to because they've got multi-point connectivity so I can switch between devices and a super comfortable fit that stays in place all day or when I'm running away from killer animatronics. Plus, with up to 32 hours of battery life, quick charging that gives me 90 minutes of playtime in just 10 minutes, and awareness mode when I'm on the lookout for animatronics, they're perfect for everyday use. The best part is Raycon quality rivals premium audio brands, but at half the price, so you don't have to overspend for great sound. And with over 3 million customers and 30-day happiness guaranteed, it's totally risk-free to give them a try. I also love wearing these earbuds when I'm editing a video for long periods of time. They don't give me earache and are comfortable. If you want to grab one of these stylish earbuds, make sure to go to buyraycon.com/ENDERTRAP CO to get 20% off site-wide. If you have been looking for new earbuds and these sound like the right fit for you, make sure to use my link. It helps support the channel and makes videos like this possible. Thank you again to Raycon for sponsoring this video. The yellow rabbit's next victim is one that isn't seen or shown in the haunted house. His ghost doesn't physically appear, but his presence is there. If you pay close attention, the sign outside the attraction flickers and turns on and off sporadically, with the sounds of screams echoing the empty night. The voice of a little boy. The next victim was Freddy. He didn't die inside the pizzeria, but rather outside, in the dark of night after hours where no one can see or hear him. We know he was the second victim because in the FNaF movie it is shown that after Foxy, he was taken. Some believe he was lured outside, into the alley or the back lot, much like how Charlie, the puppet, was killed. Afton could have tricked Freddy's spirit into stepping out with him, then murdered him away from the other children. That would explain why Freddy's ghost doesn't appear in the house. His death didn't happen within its walls. As you continue moving through the house, you are greeted by Chica's spirit, who was seated inside the kitchen, which as seen in the movie is where she always is. The yellow rabbit knew this, and is how he was able to lure her. He spotted her in the dining room area eating alone, and when no one was around, took her to the kitchen with the promise of a sweet treat. However, once inside, the yellow rabbit shut the door so no one can hear, and when realized he didn't have a weapon, he uses his hands to finish the job. Which is why when Chica's spirit jumps out, she is the only one without a knife.
Where are you?
From the kitchen, we move into the parts and service room, and here, the walls tell a disturbing story. Bloody handprints smear the walls, floors, and the doors, showing that the yellow rabbit next victim tried escaping and fighting, but to no prevail. But as you venture deeper into the room, you get hit with a flashing light and the door swings open, revealing Bonnie's jump scare. Bonnie has always been portrayed as one of the most violent spirits, being the most aggressive in game, movie, and in the attraction. This is due to a spirit being more brave than the others, being the oldest, around 11 to 12, old enough to resist, to fight. Which would explain the blood trail, showing that the yellow rabbit didn't get the first swing in, there was a struggle. In some theories, Afton used blunt force first, slamming the child into the wall or ground before finishing him off with a knife, which is shown as Bonnie's spirit jumps out at you holding a large knife. Bonnie's aggressive jump scare combined with the bloody prints shows a murder that wasn't quick, it was brutal, desperate, and angry. And then there was one, except he's not like the others. He is the only one to physically get close to you. He is the only one to appear out of nowhere. This spirit is Golden Freddy. Unlike the others, he doesn't appear in the main part of the pizzeria. He appears in a dark hallway. It's not a coincidence either. The placement matters. The yellow rabbit's killings didn't all happen in public. Golden Freddy's victim was taken deeper into the back rooms, where no parent or employee would ever wander or be seen, somewhere dark and quiet. So when the yellow rabbit struck, no one would know. The hallway represents the isolation of that final murder, somewhere more private for a personal experience, which is why Golden Freddy is never seen with the rest of the main cast. He is always tucked away in the corridors of the pizzeria. Golden Freddy was the final one to die. As shown in the film's intro, he was the last to be taken away into the dark room, with the yellow rabbit grinning as the scene goes dark. The Five Nights at Freddy's Halloween Horror Nights attraction doesn't just show the murders that happen. It represents the betrayals, with each child's promise and trust being crushed at the hands of a face they looked up to and trusted. A face which hid the evil vendetta of a bad man. A promise that we saw play out with our very own eyes as we entered the pizzeria. We were greeted by the animatronics, but little did we know what horrors awaited behind each room. The betrayal is why the ghosts remained restless. They weren't just killed, they were turned into the very monsters parents told their kids to laugh at. The rage drives them to attack the night guard in the games, and it's why, even today, they're still hunting anybody that steps foot into their home. They're one place where they feel comfort, as we saw at the end of the first movie. So when you walk through the Halloween Horror Nights FNaF house, you're not just experiencing jump scares, you're retracing the murders that started it all. Foxy in Pirate's Cove, Chica in the kitchen, Bonnie in parts and service, Golden Freddy in the hall, and Freddy forever outside, forever lost. The missing children incident isn't just a story, it's the nightmare at the core of Five Nights at Freddy's, and it still lingers in the shadows of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria.